Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today I'm going to be doing a full glam look on my mum from start to finish in real time, which is what so many of you have been asking for. I'm also going to do a purple eye look, which is what a lot of you have also been asking for. So we're going to do two things in one video today. Now my mum's been on my channel quite a lot recently. That's not going to be the case in the very near future. She's going to be taking a little bit of time off because we've done a lot in the last month. So you probably won't see her for the next couple of months, but if you do want to see her before that, then do jump across to my Instagram because she probably will feature on there in the little makeup videos that we do on there. So that's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces, if you want to follow me on Instagram as well. So I'm going to get her in here. We're going to jump straight into the full makeup tutorial.
Hi everybody.
Okay, so we're going to start this. I did promise real time, so I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible without cutting anything out. We're going to do the eyeshadow base first, and I'm going to do the eyeshadow. It's just so much easier that way so that we can actually clean up with the foundation and the concealer afterwards. So I'm going to be using the P. Louise eyeshadow base, and it's a really good one. I think it's only £10. I'm not sure you can get this anywhere else but the UK. I'm sure she ships everywhere, but I think it's probably going to cost you a little bit more. So I'm more patting that into the skin rather than dragging the skin on the eyelid. Okay, so I'm just going to set that in place using my RCMA No Colour Powder. Just so none of the eyeshadow sticks and becomes blotchy and difficult to blend. Now you'll probably see me edit a couple of things out during this, so it won't be exactly real time, but I'm going to show you on one eye and I probably won't show you on both. So we're going to edit one eye out just to make this video a little bit shorter, otherwise it would be super long. The eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use today is pretty expensive, but you can find this on offer in quite a few places now because it is quite old. This is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, and the reason I've chosen this one is because it's got some absolutely lush purple shades in it. So just absolutely stunning, and I'm going to be concentrating on this shade here, which is called Amethyst. Absolutely gorgeous shade. Look at that, full on glam today. So I'm going to go straight into the purple amethyst shade and start on this side, just the outer V. Very, very lightly with my brush. So we're just building that up slowly. And as you'll see, I'm only going halfway across the eye. And then clean off my brush on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to blend that out into the socket. And then we can go in and add a little bit more if you want more of an intense purpley look. So you have to spend a little bit more time on a more mature skin because you'll find that the eyelid moves around a little bit more. There just seems to be a little bit more skin because it's not as tight on the eyelid as a really, really young skin. So you just have to make sure that you're not dragging that skin, because the last thing you want to do is actually drag the skin. So you're patting it in place and then really, really carefully blending it out. So it does take a little bit more time than it would do on, say, a 19-year-old skin. It's a gorgeous colour of that though. It's really beautiful. Now you'll probably have seen I do a lot of purples on my mum because my mum has green eyes, and purple is the opposite end of the colour wheel to green, which means it really complements green and really makes the green shine in my mum's eyes. So it really will make my mum's eyes pop. So we're just going to use one more shade in this palette, and that is this shade here, which is the shade Twilight. It's quite a pearlescent, glittery shade. I do find some of these shades in the palette a little bit chalky and a bit crumbly. This is a really beautiful one. It's very buttery, so that's why I've chosen this shade to work with today. And I'm just going to take it on my finger and press it on the inner eyelid. It's got a really beautiful iridescent shine. So it's quite pinky and purpley at the same time. You can apply this with a brush if you want to apply it with a brush. It'll probably apply better with a damp brush, just so that the colour pops a little bit more. But if you warm it with your finger, it actually applies really nicely on the lid. And that's gorgeous on you. Okay, so both eyes are done. I am going to add a little bit of liner to the top eyes, and even though we've done purple already, I am going to do a bit more of a purple liner. We're going to have purple on purple on purple today because we like purple. I'm not a big fan of purple. I don't like purple on my eyes. It doesn't suit me at all, but it really does suit my mum. So we're going to have purple liner today, and it's in the shade Psychedelic Sister from Urban Decay. You'll have seen me use it on my mum before. It looks amazing. So it looks like this if you want to buy it. It's in the shade Psychedelic Sister. I will link all the prices in the description box below. So I'm just going to blend that out with a cotton bud or a Q-tip. Ready? No. Okay. No. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to move on to foundation. This was in our top 8. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Freshwear Foundation. It's absolutely beautiful and gorgeous on a more mature skin. Very, very flattering. I'm going to be using a different brush. I usually use the Zoeva 103 Define Buffing brush, but I'm trying out some more affordable brushes at the moment. This one's the Revolution Pro 230 brush. It's got a very round head on there, and it is very dense. I've been having a lot of success with this brush. So just one pump on the back of my hand. I do find this does sink into the pores, so you will find that the pores will be more exaggerated at first. Give it time. It will warm up to your skin's temperature and then everything will change. It will look really smooth and really airbrushed. Do you actually like having your makeup done, Mum?
Yes, I do actually. I do. It's a bit like having your hair done. You can just drift off in your own world. Except I don't have the magazines to read. It goes a long way, doesn't it?
It really does.
And I used about half a pump.
So you'll have noticed that I haven't put any foundation underneath the eyes. I tend not to do that because I think the more products you put underneath the eyes, the cakier it's going to look throughout the day and it's going to look quite heavy. I do take a concealer brush. This is the 142 concealer brush from Zoeva. I'm going to take a tiny little bit of the foundation and just go around the corner here and just clean that edge up a little bit. But as far as underneath here, I'm going to use a concealer and a colour corrector underneath there. So I'm leaving that free of foundation. So I didn't even use one pump of that foundation, it went a really long way. I'm just going to put a colour corrector on, and my favourite colour corrector because it's so light on the skin is the MAC Prep&Prime Illuminator. This one's in the shade Bright Forecast, which is a slight peachy tone, which will cancel out all those dark under eye circles. I'm just going to do the inner corner of the eye as well, because that's where a lot of discoloration is. Again, I'm just patting that on the skin, not dragging at all. You can see that already looks 10 times better than the other side. Just a really nice product. And for concealer, I'm actually going to mix the NARS Natural Radiant Concealer with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Undereye Concealer. I'm only mixing this one in with the IT Cosmetics because the IT Cosmetics Light is far too pale, so it's not for a super consistency reason. I'm not adding it to change the concealer in any way other than shade. We're just going to deepen that shade just a little bit. So I'll mix those two together, get a tiny bit on the end of my finger, and I'm just going to press that in. That's the tip with this particular concealer. The IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Undereye works so much better when it's warmed between your fingers. And you just put that where you need it, so don't worry if you don't feel like you need it towards the corners of your eye. You don't need to put it there, just put it where you feel you need the coverage. So once I've got that on the under eye using my finger and I've blended that out using my finger, I'm just going to make sure there are no creases whatsoever before I lightly powder underneath the eye. So I'm going to take my 142 Zoeva brush and I'm just going to ask you to look up, Mum. Just to make sure that there are no creases, and then you make your funny face. Sorry. I'm just patting the powder in. No dragging, just patting. Okay. And then once we've done that, we're just going to give the whole face a little bit of a dusting of powder. And when I say little, I mean a very small amount. So I've got a Bare Minerals Precision Face Brush. I've got a small amount on the end. I'm knocking off all the excess back into the container. And then I just press this into the face. I have a really squeaky floorboard underneath my foot, by the way. Really need to get that fixed. Okay, so we're going to go back into the eyes and just do underneath the lash line. So for that, again, we're going to take the Amethyst, which is the purpley shade, and just take a small amount of that. And just go half the way across the eye. I don't want to take it all the way to the inner corner because it might look a little too heavy. And then I'm going to take the purple liner from Urban Decay and Psychedelic Sister and just do the outer portion of the eye. It's about 1 centimetre in from the outer corner. And don't forget to join the two up so that it is a perfect V. A lot of people forget this outer corner, so make sure you get some product in there. And then we're just going to blend that out with a cotton bud again. Just to soften it. Okay, so I'm going to get my mum to do her own mascara because I poke her in the eye all the time and it makes her eyes run, as it would. So she's going to do her own mascara. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara. It's a lovely mascara. I think if you've got really long lashes, anything's going to look nice on them. My mum's not using a lash serum at the moment, so her lashes aren't super long like they would normally be, but this mascara makes her lashes look really, really nice. And it's not a clumpy formula, but you have to be very careful in between coats. Don't try and put 2 coats on at the same time. Put 1 coat on, allow it to dry for 2 minutes while you do the other side, and then come back and put a 2nd coat on if you feel that it's necessary. Otherwise your lashes will stick together, they will look clumpy, and it won't look as natural as if you've allowed it to dry in between coats. Okay, so now the mascara is done, we're going to move on to the rest of the face and put some dimension back into the face. Now we've completely wiped it out using the foundation, so we just want to make it look like my mum actually has seen the sun since 2014 at some point. So we're going to take a bronzer. Well, this one's from the Body Shop. This is one of my favourites actually. I'm not a big fan of the makeup from the Body Shop, but this is one of my go-to products. It's really, really nice. It's in the shade 03, which is medium, and it's just a lovely product. It's quite pale for a bronzer, which means you can build it up. So you're not going to get masses of product on straight away and it look a mess. This is a nice, just lightweight product.
I don't know why you do it up there.
I know, it's habit. Doing my mum's forehead and it's not going to be seen, but you know, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. What if the wind blows your fringe, Mum?
Wow. Heavens to be. Everybody would see.
Okay, so now we bronze the face slightly. I'm just going to use the Nip and Fab contour palette. This is in the shade Light, and I'm only using one shade, and I'm using it very sparingly. 2 dips in, and I'm just going to dab that underneath my mum's cheekbones just to make the cheekbones pop out a little bit more. Again, less is more with this. You can always put more product on, but it's so difficult to take it off if you've put too much on. So just do very sparingly and just pat that in place before you blend it out. I'm going to use another drugstore product for the cheeks. This is the e.l.f. Duo palette. It's got a bronzer in here, and it's also got a blush as well, and the blush is really pretty and very pigmented. You hardly need any. Okay, so I'm a big believer in eyebrows. My mum didn't used to be a big believer in eyebrows. You couldn't see the point in them, could you? And then we went to go and see Fred at YSL, and what did you think?
On that model, I thought it made a huge difference, but I still struggle with seeing a difference for me.
So we're going to put them on today, but I'm not going to go overboard. We're not going to make my mum look like she's got really bushy eyebrows, because she wouldn't be able to look in a mirror all day. It just would not look like her, and I'm not willing to do that to my own mother. So we're just going to fill them in slightly so they look a little bit darker on the face. We're not going to mess around with the shape of them. We're not going to give her an Insta brow, because that would be so funny though. We ought to do a full face of Insta type makeup on my mum and see what she looks
so
like.
funny.
The really heavy foundation, the really heavy triangular concealer
I'd love
underneath.
that, actually. That'd be so funny.
That's it, that's a plan. In the next couple of months, that's what we're going to do. Right, so I'm just going to fill these in a small amount, but not too much that you would notice massively. I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, which, as you will know if you are a regular to my channel, is one of my favourites. It's a really stiff product, so it's very difficult to get too much on at once because it doesn't melt into the brow. Did you hear my stomach?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I think I might be hungry.
I think everybody heard it.
Sorry about that, everybody. If ever you feel like you get too much brow product in your brow, take a spoolie. I like the pencils with a spoolie on the end because they're just really convenient, and just brush through the brows and you'll find it really does soften the product and makes it look a lot more natural. Okay, so now I've finished the brows and I haven't gone overboard with the brows. I've just filled them in using tiny hair-like strokes rather than just painting them on. We are going to move onto lips, and I always let my mum do her own lips because she is far better at it than I am. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour lipstick, and this is one of your favourites, isn't it?
Yeah.
This colour is perfect. You don't... Usually my mum wears at least 2 lipsticks at a time. She likes to experiment and find the right shade. And with this one, it's just on its own. And that's how you like it. It's the perfect shade. So this one is the shade Born to Blush in the number 125. And this is what it looks like if you're looking for it on the internet or in the shops. So I'll pass it over to you. It's got an applicator on one end and then a moisturising stick on the other end. There you go.
Leave that for a bit.
So you let that dry, don't you, Mum, first before you put the moisturising stick on? Do you do your own trick?
Oh yeah, all the time. As long as nobody can see.
Well, they just have.
Oh, ooh. Okay.
So once it's dried down, because it does have that tacky feel once it's dried down, but if you put the moisturising stick over the top, it's really, really nice and moisturising and feels quite hydrating, like a lip gloss, but not with the stickiness.
It's lovely.
Okay, so this is the finished look. I hope you all like it. Do let us know what you think about it in the comment section below, but the most important person, do you like it?
I love it, actually, yeah. I don't know what it's going to be like on the school run. Going out with all this glam.
I think you look beautiful, and I think you can easily get away with this for an evening look or a day look. I don't think you should be suppressed into brown or neutral shades for the daytime. If you want to go colourful, then that's exactly how you should go, and I do think you look stunning.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do give it a big thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's a watermark in this corner right down here. So if you click on that, it will take you through to my homepage where you can subscribe. Hope to see you all again soon. Bye!